Next up to tell us about education is John Sims. Take it away, John.
Well, as you guys have heard, my name is John Sims. I'm used to improvising in the classroom, so I actually am being kind of a tool by reading this out loud. But again, it's the nighttime. It's either lesson plans or sleep. So my title is Education is Succeeding. Education is the hub of a grand wheel. Or more accurately, it's at the center of a vast web of power in our society. It's impossible in 5 minutes to give proper measure to the complexity of this issue, but I will give it a go. You see, I think education is succeeding wildly. Yes, I know we hear about its failure, that we're falling behind, that our kids can't find the USA on a map, and that teachers' unions and parents are to blame, but come on, guys. Let's not be so naive. Or perhaps let me put it another way. Any system that gets the same results from the lower bottoms of Oakland to East LA to the South Valley of Albuquerque, despite clear differences in history, culture, and language, that is a system working exactly as it was intended. Today's educational system is the most successful piece of social engineering ever constructed in America. Its champions' goals have been elevated successfully to national policy over the past 40 years. This deconstruction of people-centered education began in 1972 when enter Sidney P. Marland. As Nixon's Secretary of Education, he worked to walk back the educational reforms made from 1954 to 72. He blamed education for social unrest and wanted all learning to focus on the needs of a student's, quote, future occupation. He developed a 30-year school restoration plan dismantling the humanizing age of schooling. Career education focused on reintroducing top-down standardization of teaching and numerous other dehumanizing reforms. 1972 plus the 30-year plan equals July 1st, 2002, the date No Child Left Behind, the foundation for Race to the Top, became effective. 40 years into school restoration, I don't think I have to tell anybody here about the state of American education. It's succeeding for those in control of it, but leaving the rest of us behind. So, what progress did Marland erase? From 1954 to 1972, we encouraged ethics and critical thinking, especially in communities lacking financial opportunity. I guess thinking was bad for business. I encourage thinking in my classroom because I teach people, not corporations. So here's my approach. Know your students and families in and out, pair this knowledge with the subject you teach, and work your, well, it says tail, but that's not what I mean. The solution is simple, right? I'm sad to say, though, it's nearly impossible to implement with today's reforms standing in the way. These are the rules for my class. The idea is for the kids to become more fully human by learning how to love unconditionally, see if they're worthy of receiving love, and becoming something more. And these are considered fluff, I guess. I challenge anyone to come into my classroom and see for themselves, or if you don't have time, here's our Karavanserai. It's the Persian word for safe place. My students are encouraged each day to fail, because if they're old enough to make babies, unfortunately some of them do, they are old enough to fall down, dust themselves off, and learn from their mistakes. If they want to volunteer for the 2008 presidential campaign, they research and implement how to make it happen. Some are saved through the words they find inside themselves. Facing deep depression, Flo Appella here found poetry and has become a top-notch poetry slammer. But despite all of this, I'm directed to give my kids district-purchased workbooks with page after page of worksheets, which I reject. See, if they see over 3,000 ads a day, why not teach them about metaphor through advertising? Again, this is considered too political by my administration. My style of educating has been made so difficult that when I started a after-school band rock program, I had to without pay. APS, like the mob, takes a cut of any school-related activity and frowns on me getting extra money for community work I do at my school. But, thankfully, I am still paid to teach for now. Here, students had to represent their understanding graphically, and the response from my administration, again, is, "You could do the same thing with workbooks, John." It makes me wonder, if I cannot be trusted to generate my own ideas, materials, and practices, then why the hell did they hire me? Our student-generated food garden is also being discouraged. I was told to take out the fruit trees because kids might throw fruit at one another. I've seen students throw everything from orange juice to rocks to other kids at each other. Okay. When our eyes cannot see beyond the obedience and conformity demanded of teachers, all of my teaching becomes impossible. I can teach anything from biology to sociology by teaching students to read the words on the page in parallel with how they read the world. If you have a test score fetish, 43% of my students are proficient, which is very good at my school. The school sits at about 30%, 90% of our population, according to the statistics, lives below or at the federal poverty level. Our kids are drowning, essentially, guys. Essentially, we have a choice, is what I'm saying here. Literacy for individualized improvement or collective improvement. The former isn't working, and the latter has been made almost impossible. We have to open up and expand democratic possibility in our schools if we want them to be effective for we the people. So if you want to help education, start asking, what is education for and against? Who is it for and against? And then go out, damn it, and demand our schools evolve to meet the visions in this room. It's your choice. Do you want your children gasping for air or grasping the inevitability of a better tomorrow? Thank you.